I'll bet you didn't know that over 90% of 10,000 images from various 2018 catalogs come from these two lenses, the 24-70 and the 70-200. I'm gonna show you how to use these two focal lengths. What's going on, my YouTube friends? I'm gonna be honest, my feet hurt right now.
Man up.
I feel like I am a man. But we're not gonna talk about that. What we are gonna talk about is 24-70 and the 70-200. These are the first two lenses and focal lengths that you should buy as a photojournalist, wedding photographer, event photographer, and portrait photographer. So if this is kind of the genre that you are shooting, these two are gonna be the first two guys that you should really jump into, regardless of the brand or the make or anything. I'm also gonna show you how to best use these focal lengths and these lenses for your imagery. What I wanted to see was, of all the lenses that I shoot, which are the most used lenses, specifically getting me to deliverable images among all the lenses that I have. This is gonna blow you away because it blew me away. Over 65%, that's 6,500 out of 10,000 images were shot on the 24-70. And over 2,500 images were shot on the 70-200. So between the 65 and 25%, we have over 90% of the 10,000 images that I delivered from 2018 were shot on these two lenses. That's surprising to me, especially considering that I've been caught on camera many a time saying how much I hate this lens. Now, I use it because it's super versatile, it's very functional, and you just need it. But I don't really like the aesthetic quality of the 24-70. Granted, the Mark II is better than the Mark I, but still, no, I'm sorry, does that hurt your feelings? Does that hurt his feelings? We do have another video though, where I talk about how the new 2870 RF is my favorite all-time lens. So that's probably gonna change as we go forward. It's also probably gonna skew the numbers even more in favor of the 24-70 or this 28-70 focal length. That being said, let's talk about why these two focal lengths are so critical for the general photographer. And along the way, I'm gonna show you images and talk about how to use them. First, let's talk about the 24-70, I hate you. As far as the overall kind of aesthetics and bokeh, I don't necessarily love the images that are coming out of this lens. So why am I using this for 6,500 plus images out of 10,000? Because it's versatile, it's fast to focus, it can go wide to relatively tight for zooming. Let me just show you exactly why. This is shot downtown at 70 millimeters. Why? I want to use a little bit of that perspective compression to bring the background buildings a little closer to the subject as I work farther away for this environmental portrait. By the way, you can see all the settings in the corner for each of these images. In this shot, we're slowing the shutter speed down to make motion the compositional element that makes the image interesting. The next image, we go to Laguna Beach. Shooting wide now because I want the lines of the water to be exaggerated as they get close to the frame at 24 millimeters. Now I can take the same lens and go into a portrait session. This is an editorial fitness shoot. We're shooting at 63 millimeters, and during that same shoot, I'm on a ladder and shooting down, and if I were working with primes, it'd be difficult to find a prime that's the right focal length without constantly switching on and off. So I get this nice variable focal length that I can say, okay, great, 42 millimeters is the exact kind of frame and everything that I want with this. Now notice with each of these shots, I'm not using bokeh as my kind of aesthetic or compositional component that makes these images. I'm using other things, other compositional, and to be honest and to be fair, I think bokeh is overrated, overused, and it's a crutch. This takes away that crutch, and for that it's almost nice that it does. But I'm using other things in each of these frames. This is just a travel image that I saw while driving through the States, and I saw this crazy storm. This is at Horseshoe Bend. Okay, same thing, 24 mil, f7. This is, again, going on a hike with clients up to Yosemite, from weddings, kind of shooting the actual moments. It just gives us so much variety from getting that kind of wide down the row shot to, okay, they're coming back down the aisle and I can still stay in the action as I shoot. I can also do my family portraits on it. I can take this on my own family trips and shoot my kids. And notice that I'm kind of close to the birds here. We use bread on the ground to kind of keep them there. And that's kind of the element that I'm using to kind of make this frame interesting. Same thing here. So these are all family portraits on it. We're not gonna get a crazy kind of aesthetic quality to the background and the separation of the background, but we still get a nice separation at f2.8. So overall, I use it because it's versatile in each of these situations. Second, it's fast to focus. That means that in addition to the versatility, I can get these close-up shots. Like there's so much detail in an Indian wedding, and just in cultural weddings and most weddings in general, there's a ton of detail. We can zoom in and out very easily with this and make sure that we don't miss moments. And the focus is so quick, it just snaps right into place, and we aren't gonna miss a thing. Same thing here. Zooming in quickly to capture these moments. Then at the same time, we can zoom back out to capture the entire scene. Same time, I can take a few steps back and get a wide environmental portrait and then go straight back in for another tight shot. This is at 70. The last thing is I love that it's in the action. It's in the action and it allows me to kind of adjust and move quick. How is it in the action? Because it's wide, so we get that wide focal length, but it's also easy to control that focal length, and it's quick to focus again, making it the perfect lens for those in the action dance shots. And really when we want to get up close and personal, this is that moment where they kick the rice and they're kicking it directly into the lens. And then I can zoom back out right in that exact same moment to get that same shot wide. I can't do that with a prime. Again, for kind of exaggerating lines and all those kind of things, it's great. Again, on the dance floor, close up and in the action, this is a dance floor spin. These are all the things that make this lens an amazing focal length, as really the first lens that you should buy and own if you are a general photographer. That means you do photojournalism, that means that you do events, you do weddings, you do portraits, you do all of it. I would jump here first. And if it's in the budget, go to this guy. The 28-70 f2, and I think Sigma has a variant of it as well. This is gonna be one of your favorites of all time because, like me, it kind of combines the best of both worlds, where I'm getting the background and bokeh separation of a prime with the versatility of a zoom. It's $3 grand. It's expensive, but it's amazing. So now let's jump to the 7200. This guy's a bit of a beast. It's a little bit heavy to carry around, but over 25% of my shots, or 2,500 plus out of 10,000 images, are on this lens. Now again, why is that? Number one is just simply its length. So as a photojournalist of any sort, you're gonna appreciate all the moments and situations where that length comes in handy. So for example, this is a concert where I was photographing Kenny Loggins, and this is zooming in from very far away where we were stationed to basically photograph. That's the only place we could be. There's nothing else that you can do in that situation, and a 24-70 or any prime isn't gonna get you close enough, unless you have a 200mm f2, but that's just a 10-pound beast. So this is gonna be your length monster. Again, in this scene, I'm pretty far back and zooming in, so even when it's talking about travel and just shooting for fun, shooting birds, shooting whatever it is, this is gonna be your go-to. I also love its ability to kind of stand back far and zoom in, and we're gonna kind of talk about that and the overall control that we get over the background. But this allows me to frame my entire subjects in this kind of area of bright, like kind of where they're standing basically in the light, and I'm shooting way back from the shadows and really kind of punching in and creating this unique look with the image. In addition, we get our details. So where we can't get close enough on a 24-70, we can with the 7200. This makes it fantastic for wedding and event photojournalism because there's just too many situations where you're not gonna get that up close and personal when they're exchanging rings and doing that kind of stuff. In addition, it's fantastic for environmental portraits too, because there's plenty of situations like this one where I'm so far back that this is zoomed in at 70, but I can get even further and kind of compress over an entire distance to zoom in to still create very unique environmental portraits. Again, another moment that I can't shoot on a 24-70. This is at 120mm or 115-ish as they kind of reach forward to touch Ty's. I miss Ty the elephant. He's no longer allowed to be an Indian wedding elephant. They don't do that anymore. It's sad. So again, another example of that kind of length and the ability to stand far back and kind of capture these kind of images and then move to simply a different angle. This is that exact same first look moment. This is just moving to a different angle, staying on the same lens. I'm going to 200mm to really smush out the background. I have a lot of control in that. This is stepping in closer, going down to 90mm, and this is working with it just on for fun. Like this is taking my kids out to this little park. You know the moments where like you have your 3 kids and some random kid jumps in between them on the line and you're like, no, random boy, I don't want you in my photographs, but I can't say anything. I never saw him again, but he really wanted to be there. Okay, so that other side of this lens is that ability to control compositions and backgrounds on the fly very quickly with quick autofocus again. Very quick focus and how it snaps in. This makes it perfect for the over-the-shoulder shots like at a wedding, where you want to get like the bride in the foreground and the look on the groom's face when he sees her for the first time. This is another wedding where John Legend performed, where we were able to get behind John Legend and shoot so that we could see John Legend singing, the crowd right here, and the couple directly in the center. This is that same Yosemite shoot where now I can actually pull the background further, kind of closer to the subject by using that perspective compression and zooming in just a little bit more than on a 24-70. Granted, this is at 70 millimeters, but you can see that I have a lot more control with this. I can go all the way up to 200 if I wanted to put that waterfall directly behind them. Okay, this is kind of shooting through foreground elements at a wedding. Don't mind the cinematography. See, it happens to both of us, guys. It happens to all of us. We all get in each other's shots. It's fine. She was part of the day too. I'm sure everybody wants to see that. Again, shooting through and creating creative compositions. This is where the couple is here toasting and kind of giving a speech, and we can shoot to get the focus of the couple in the background, our bride and groom, showing how we can stand far back, zoom into 100 millimeters, and really put the water kind of up close and behind them. Whereas in reality, if we're using a 24-70, it's really pretty far back. And another example of that compression and zooming in tight. This is zoomed in 190 millimeters, and we get that perspective compression that brings all of these columns up in a row that creates fantastic looking kind of images that shoot down the line of something. Compositionally, it's really a wonderful lens that can give us so many different options. In addition, the last thing I want to mention is it's great for just all-around portraits. At f2.8 and with a 7200 range, we still get great background separation. We can shoot in tight without having any distortion. So we can go from this shot right here at 125 to, a closer shot, and we can even go right up to basically headshots and portraits without having any distortion. Just make sure that you're zooming in a bit to 85, 100 millimeters plus. But you get that with this lens as opposed to having to jump into an 85 millimeter prime if what you have is a 50. So a 50 can't give you that same versatility, neither can a 24-70, whereas this guy can give you quite a bit of versatility in terms of getting semi kind of environmental shots, all the way up to very tight portraits and even closer details. Really beautiful, versatile kind of all-around portrait lens. Now remember, with a 7200, this is not going to be as versatile in terms of this space that you're working in. It's not an in-the-action lens. That means that if you're on the dance floor, don't pull this guy out. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I see new photographers making, is that they'll jump into a crowd of people dancing, or they'll go and shoot photojournalism, or they'll go onto a basketball court, wherever it might be, and they jump on a 7200 when they're working in tight spaces. It's gonna make your life difficult. In addition, when you're in a tight room, this might not be the right lens because, well, unless you're trying to control the background, you might not be able to get enough distance between your subject to get a wide enough shot. So it's not really designed for that, and remember that you're gonna need to have some working space there. Okay, so in summary, 24-70 is your all-around walk-around lens. It's super versatile, it gives you wide to zoom range. It's the in-the-action lens. Just don't rely on it to really control background and separate subjects from background. It's not a prime, it's not gonna smush the background into focus. You need to use other compositional components to make your images interesting. That said, over 75% of my images are shot on this, and going forward, I think it's gonna be even higher number shot on the 28-70. Remember, for the 7200, you're gonna need working space. You're going to not use this as an in-the-action type lens. Don't shoot this when you're up close and personal in the dance floor, in an event, because you just don't have enough working space and people are gonna constantly be walking in front of you when you try and back up and shoot through it. Use this to control your backgrounds, use it to create depth of field, use it for close-up portraits, for details, for zooming in and out, going from environment to details very quickly. And remember, both of these lenses in their varying focal lengths are so incredibly quick to snap into focus. And this makes it the best option for photojournalists who don't want to miss moments, in addition to all of the other things that they can do. So, if you are a photojournalist, you do weddings, you do events, you do family portraiture, you do general portraiture, everything, these are the first two lenses you should own, starting with the 24-70 or the 28-70 if it's in the budget. The next lens is the 70-200. This will give you everything that you need. But if you are primarily a portrait photographer, you're shooting subjects that are still, they're not moving around, and you love the aesthetic quality and looks of a prime lens, then check out our other video kind of the second video to this series where we talk about our 3 favorite prime lenses. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like, comment below, let us know what you think. And I don't like asking, but look, if you like our content and our videos, subscribe and turn on notifications so you're actually notified when we upload new content. My name is Pi, my feet freaking hurt, and I'll see you guys in the next video.